morning, good afternoon, and good evening as per your time zones. And namaste. Welcome back to the fifth and the final program in the series of IALD India's Lighting Saturdays 2020-21 events. I am Surbi and I have Sandeep with me. Both of us are the members of IALD. I run my independent lighting design practice based out of Mumbai by the name The Light Hub. And Sandeep is pursuing his master's in lighting design from the Wismar University of Applied Sciences in Germany. IALD is the International Association of Lighting Designers headquartered in Chicago. Last year, we marked the 50th anniversary year of IALD. Under the leadership of Mr. Babu Shankar and Dr. Amardeep Dugar, IALD India chapter became a reality in the year 2015. Under IALD India, a number of hands-on lighting workshops were conducted in various colleges across the country. The workshop held in the month of February 2020 was the last one before the pandemic hit. Considering that everybody is held in their homes, so Dr. Amardeep conceptualized a series of fun events to bring the lighting community together, have fun, and share knowledge. With the help of IALD headquarters team, Joe, May, Kelly, and along with all other IALD India members, including coordinators Anusha, Nivedita, and Kiran, these series of events are now a reality. Over to you, Sandeep.
Good evening, everyone.
Sandeep, you are on mute.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. The first four events, the lighting bloopers, the lighting quiz, lighting sketches, and the lighting superstars had an amazing response from all of you. We thank each and every one of you on behalf of IALD and the IALD Indian chapter for all the love and support. This week, IALD India provides a platform to get to know some of its members a little better by provoking a more honest and an insightful conversation using funny and weird, unexpected questions. These questions will investigate how quick thinking our members are and how well they answer to responses in different situations. Additionally, we hope to get a real glimpse of their true personalities. As hosts, we'll be taking 4 questions each from all of the panelists and the open forum for the audience to ask a question as per their will to each and every panelist. At the end of our 4 questions, you can ask them a question each. We have 8 panelists with us today, and we look forward to interviewing them. A couple of housekeeping instructions before the event starts. For the entire event, the viewer shall be on mute and video off mode. We would like to kickstart this event by interviewing each the other and the interviewing of our panelists. I'll start off by asking my co-host Surbi a few questions, if I may. If Surbi, your first question would be, hi. If not a lighting designer or an architect, what would you actually be?
So see, right from childhood, I have aspired to be a designer or an architect because I was good at painting and artwork and won a national level competition also at a very young age. But I'm also off the grid a theater artist. So if not a designer, I would have been an actor, a professional actor.
Oh, that's good to know. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. So my second question to you would be is, what is the meanest thing someone has ever said to you? Meanest thing.
So not about me, but to me, yes. A couple of years back, when I was working in a corporate sector with a multi-million-dollar company in Delhi, I was working on my office on some presentation, and I was suddenly called for the presentation to the CEO of the company. And though the presentation went very well, I was after the presentation in front of a couple of people. I was said by the CMO, the then super boss of mine, "Do you even know how to talk to the CEO?" So that was something very mean, which will which is stuck to my whole life, and I might not forget it for all my life. So yes, so that is something mean. Yeah.
I'm sure if you remember it, how back was then? How back was it?
That was 5 years back. See,
Yeah,
I
if
remember
you,
the years as well. You just
yeah,
asked me and I quickly mentioned that. Yeah.
if you
So,
remember it for
yes.
5 years, it must have definitely
Yes.
left something on your mind.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So
Okay, okay.
sudden. That was sudden, not expected.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Moving on.
So now, Sandeep, I would like to pose a couple of questions to you.
Oh,
So we
okay.
all saw your amazing talent of singing in the last event called the Lighting Superstars. So
Right.
what if you wake up as your favorite singer tomorrow, Kishore Da? So
Oh,
what is the first
Kishota.
thing you will do when you wake up, if you wake up like Kishore Da tomorrow morning? Tomorrow
Well,
morning.
well, 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 well. I would say even if I was a 0.1% of how Kishorda was as a singer, I would actually just go on a frenzy. I would actually record my own voice so that
Uh-huh.
the magic lasts for as long as it does. I will put it on record so that I could sing and then I could hear myself at a later stage whenever I can. So I would never let that opportunity go by. It would be fun to do that. It would be really, really very exciting to have something like that if at all.
Wonderful. So record your own voice and listen
Record
to
my
it.
own voice. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Beautiful answer. So being a foodie, what weird food combinations do you really enjoy?
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is the one incident I remember of a friend of mine who was basically from China, and she was
Uh-huh.
down here in India. And when she was here, we went on an early supper. We finished our dinner, and then it was an early dinner at 7:30. And at about 12 o'clock, when we finished our work, she felt hungry, and she
Mhm.
said, "If you want to eat something," she said, "I have something in my room. Why don't you come in?" And I said, "Okay, why not?" I never thought of what is it that she's going to give me to eat because I thought I could eat anything. And then she gave me these packets of chicken legs,
Uh-huh.
which
Okay.
which
Okay.
I found very weird when I saw them,
Oh,
but they were
really?
actually
Okay.
not that bad when I tasted them. So yeah, this is one of the things which I have eaten even after that. Chicken legs is very interesting.
Well,
It's
though I'm a
pores
pure
and yeah.
vegetarian, so I am not sure about what weird combination was it. But yes, I can understand that it must be a weird combination, as you rightly said.
Yes, 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 it was.
So, guys, this was a quick warm up for today's event from the host to our panelists. And today also happens to be the International Happiness Day. Somebody just messaged me a few minutes back. So yes, so we are on the coincidentally we are on the we are on the right day. So without further ado, moving to our first panelist of the evening today, Rohit from Arab Lighting. Rohit, can you please switch on your camera and unmute yourself?
Yes, I'm here. Hello,
Hi,
everyone.
Rohit. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
How's the day going on?
Day is
How's the
quite
weekend,
good.
rather?
Today is usually the day to do a little bit of gardening and then a little bit of cooking as well. So it has been a good Saturday so far.
Wow, you love
Mm.
gardening. Oh, we didn't know that. So, Rohit, tell us, you are not a social media buff, but you told us that you are a spectator on social media. So,
Yeah.
whose profile do you visit the most on social channels when you are a silent spectator, if I may ask?
My exes. There are a couple
Sorry?
of them. My ex-girlfriends, yes. I
Okay.
have no shame in
Okay.
admitting that, but that is the usual go-to. And then there are other people whose profiles, I mean, there are actually also, as boring as it sounds, there are a lot of profiles that I stalk on LinkedIn as well, just to see what they are up to and what sort of work they are doing, and yeah, just for some constructive inspiration.
Nice. That is a very, very wacky answer and very unexpected also. But yeah, good you told it upfront. Yes, great. So we know that you have traveled across the world. You come from lighting design, and you have ate a lot of strangest cuisines across, right? So what is the most strangest cuisine you have ever ate, and when was that?
So strangest one was actually in New York, not during travel, but it was just once we were hosted by one of my Chinese roommates, and along with their parents, and we went to a very, very traditional Chinese place, and in Chinatown in New York, in Manhattan. And what had happened was we just went there, we sat, and they asked us if we had any, food restrictions of any sort at that time, diet restrictions. And I said that I just don't eat mammals, red meat, basically. So poultry is fine. And I thought, poultry mein kya aayega, chicken aayega, turkey aayega, some other birds. And the weirdest thing that came up on the table directly was actually pigeon legs, which I
Oh
had
my
never
God. Oh
imagined.
God.
And
Never imagined that. Yeah.
yeah, and a traditional Chinese dinner is like there are people around sitting on the table, and it is very Indian like people eat from
Yeah.
the same pot. You take portions in your plate and then you eat, and it sort of felt rude to deny anything. So I did eat it. I did not enjoy it, but I did eat it out of politeness, and that was probably my weirdest cuisine experience,
Strangest, basically, I would say.
which I had not asked for. And the other one which I had asked for was an ostrich burger, again in New York.
Ah. Oh, that sounds really, really strange and weird for sure. Amazing. So tell us that coming from lighting design background, being a designer yourself, where would you go if you were invisible, rather a concealed light fixture, if I may put it, that best tells the story of spatial design through light?
I would probably be one of the light fittings in a James Turrell sculpture or something, just because they are so discreet, and just to see what it feels like to be a light fitting there. Because as a human, your experience is obviously so enriching and so inspiring. But what would it be like to be a light fitting in, say, one of those Guggenheim circles or something like that? That would be quite cool.
So what would be the fixture? I mean, what light product would that be?
At least the one that I remember from Guggenheim was actually just like these massive projectors, which were hidden behind these fabric concentric, rings that they had made inside the Guggenheim Museum atrium. And yeah, I would just cozily be sitting in one of these
So basically,
Marisol dens.
hide behind one of these circles and see the users
And see the
around.
world go by and watch
The
their
world go by.
reactions to what magic James Turrell creates.
Great, amazing answer, amazing. So tell us, you have been in lockdown. We all have been in lockdown since last year. So and the most favorite product of yours, or most favorite invention of yours, is the MS Teams and Zoom, right? So what has been
Yeah.
your most funniest and craziest video call moment during the lockdown on MS Teams or Zoom while using them? This doesn't include any technical glitches. No technical glitches, but yes, any moment, any funniest or craziest moment.
I can't think of any from a work perspective. I mean, one time I was just unmuted and I was, like very happily eating my lunch and everyone could hear it. But
Okay.
that's not very interesting, is it? Nothing really as such. Not that any I can remember. Uh, uh, Teams moment. Give me a few moments. Maybe something might come to me later. But yeah,
Sure.
nothing
Take
that I
your
can
time,
think of
please.
right now.
Yes. while talking to your colleagues across the world, and something funny
I think
you might
at the
have
beginning of the
noticed.
lockdown, there were these so many Zoom calls which used to happen with cousins,
Uh-huh.
and there were so many games that we played. Those sort of stuck with me, and they went on for hours together, which was also exhausting after a point. But nevertheless, someone put in a lot of effort in my family to bring us together, and all those what tasks they gave and the things that we did, which now seem very very a lot of time that went by, a little bit of life we will never get back, but yeah, that was worth all the time.
Yeah, of course. I think that's a worth a moment, not more, not a funny or a crazy moment, but not. It's like worth a moment with family.
Yeah, and at that time also it was sort of beginning to when the lockdown started, I was still in London, and I was waiting
Okay.
when things might open a little bit so that I can make my move to India, which eventually happened in August. And my wife, incidentally, she happened to move before the lockdown even kicked in, so I was all by myself. So all those Zoom calls were quite helpful to keep some sanity with human connection through Zoom, nevertheless. But yeah.
So we don't have any question from the audience for Rohit right now. Audience, please you have such a great opportunity to ask questions from the panelists yourself. So any questions? So Rohit, I have a question for you. What do you first notice about while meeting for the first time with a client?
So this is something that I have been trying to learn for the last maybe say 3 or 4 years. There's something that I do with Arab, which is basically trying to think about design personalities. And we sort of developed this questionnaire where we do these questionnaires repeatedly within our teams, within the people we work with, and give them these questionnaires. And based on the answers, we come up with these 4 personality types. Which are there are the pragmatists, there are the artists, there are the artisans, and then there are the philosophers. And each of them come with their own traits and whatnot. And generally, I think we as designers come from a very, very sort of philosophical point of view when we talk about our designs. But like you mentioned, when you are talking to a CEO or someone who is completely detached from the design world,
Yeah.
then they are looking for very different things to be heard from us, which we don't think about. And many a times I think a lot of my effort when I'm talking to someone for the first time goes into sort of deriving what their personality type might be, because then that helps me tune how I should be presenting my ideas, because not everyone likes the philosophical conversations around lighting most of the sometimes. And and so a lot needs to happen at our end to sort of tune our ability to say the things that will be appreciated, which not to undermine your ideas in any bit, but all ideas have different merits, and which merits do you want to highlight depending on whom you're talking to, and knowing your audience is the thing that I do. So generally, I think what I would do when I meet clients is to identify what their personality type might be.
So
Now that
I totally agree to you that we need to really understand the personas of whom we are meeting firstly. Maybe just do a homework of trying to understand the persona of the person whom you're meeting, and then as you rightly said, you have a different philosophy for this while talking to the CEO of the company, and completely different while talking to the architect of the design team. So yes, I completely buy your point. Yes. Great answer. Very quick witted and very rightly said, I would say.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Right.
Now we move on to the next panelist of ours, Harmeet from Design Matrix. Harmeet, can you please switch on? Yeah. Hi, Harmeet. How are you?
Hi, very well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How's the day treating you all well? How's the
Very
weekend?
well. It's
Busy?
been weirdly busy today. I don't know why. We just came back from a site, quick hop onto the site, and that's why I was a little here and there.
Happens. Many a times weekends are also busy. Yeah. So, Harmeet, tell us from your profile or from the question and answers what we had received. You said that you are a light-sucking vampire, and this is something which nobody knows about you. So, what do you mean when you say that you're a light-sucking vampire? Please abreast
Oh,
us of this. Yeah.
I didn't think while filling that, but anyways, so it's so what I wanted to say is that it's my habit of just removing the lights. That's something which we very often do in my office. I just scratch out, okay, remove this, let's reduce this, let's do that. That is what I'm trying to do most of the time in my office. So I think that's what my team feels, that I'm more of a light sucking vampire. I think that is literally, and maybe philosophically as well, I want to like to be interviewed like this, what you're doing. So probably that is as well.
Wow.
So it's both the ways.
Amazing. So basically, you want to reduce the lights and make it a more less light up a space, right?
Well, the whole thing is that I think downlights were the worst thing which happened to lighting, and that's what my always thinking is, how to remove them and how to reduce them. So that's something which is very close to my heart.
Wow, wow, great answer. So we also know that you have worked in programming, you know C++, you know Java softwares. So are you still implementing anything from what you did 20 years back in your today's lighting profession? Are you using
Yes.
the softwares and the programs? So
not writing or coding, but definitely deploying some of the software bits within ourselves. And I think all the lighting designers will hate me for it. I am trying to automate lighting design as well, writing an algorithm for it, which is the toughest one. But yes, that's something which I really look forward. So whole idea, I still work on trying to reduce those things which are repeated within the organization and wherever possible, be it design, be it, because that is how we can get more time to do new things. So that's the way I think, which is what it is. That if it's possible to get rid of all those mundane repeated steps, and which is what automation or all these programming languages or all these things can do. Yes, so I keep on doing that in once in a while, even in our concepts. Sometimes try and deploy them into trying to give that control politely to human beings who are using the space, and be able to adapt to them, but in a logical form, maybe, which is less predictable by them, what is going to be the outcome to it. So it's fun. I think there is always something you can bring back from whatever you have learned and whatever you are learning in the process of it. So yes, but I don't remember any coding now. I hate that, but I don't. I'm incapable of coding now.
I think you're making the whole design process easy and more, practical and short and brief that way, automating the design by automating it.
Not only that, even creatively, sometimes you can adapt those things into, you can create a philosophy into a logic and logic into an outcome. So this becomes a little far from direct expectation. Like if somebody says, I need a red light, you give him a red light. It's too direct. Probably you say, okay, be angry, then I'll give you a red light. So that's the way you can enjoy yourself mixing up things into it and trying to do something different about it.
Great answer. Great work, I would say. So you have done a lot of hospitality projects, and if you build a themed hotel from scratch, okay, so what would be the theme of that hotel, and what would the rooms look like?
That's I will not build a hotel, first of all. That's one of the guys. Yeah, so
Maybe
I
a
will build,
resort, if not a hotel, a resort or a hospitality space that you like.
I think I will build a something where there will be no restaurant. You will have rooms. You will have to cook yourself. You will have a community kitchen. Get there, do that, and do it yourself as much as possible, and maybe grow something as well, and come back and then eat and cook that. All that might be my kind of a resort bit, which is it. Lot of place to walk,
Yeah.
very small room so that you don't stay in the room at all and you're outside most of the time. And I think that's a good hotel.
Maybe
What I
a
can,
nature place, right? So that the person or the visitor is more close to nature than being in the indoors.
well, I would say even in the cities, the same thing. So you visit cities not to visit hotels, but yes, of course, it has to be comfortable. You should have just enough. And a lot of people try and sometimes we design hospitality and people ask for 300 lux on your table, reading table. Why do you want to read in a hotel? Probably yes, if it's a business hotel, then you define it that way. But I think if it's a hospitality or a breakout or a space where you want to move around, I think the rooms have to be condensed, smaller, so that you don't stay inside them. You get out of them very quickly. So probably that's again. I think it's a very difficult question. You should have given me before so that I could have prepared a paragraph and given it to you.
No, so the whole idea is to get your
I
answers
just,
quick, extempore answers, not the
yeah,
prepared.
I can understand.
So what habit or hobby do you have now that you wish you started much earlier?
Habit or hobby? Well, I think I'm not a hobby guy. I enjoy what I do. That is what my way of doing thing is. Even if I have to do small little thing, I will enjoy that. Even if I have to move a little bit furniture here and there, that is also I will enjoy. That's what I do. I seek for that fun in the smaller bits, which is more often and more easier to achieve than trying to do a big and try and fix up time and then go for that hobby and then do that is going to be really tough. Which is what. And one of the things which I can connect now is trekking. I should have started very early. I just
Sorry,
started
come again.
Trekking.
Trekking. Okay, yeah. So basically, find happiness.
Yeah, no, well, find happiness and find yourself trying to really be in the wild and look at things differently. So which I started, I was very, and at my younger age, I did that a lot, but now since 5 years, I've started doing it again. So yes, so that's something I should have started about 10, 15 years back. I would say professionally, that's what I would think.
Wonderful. So we have a question from the audience from Anusha for you. So can anyone answer about the hardest moment from a project lighting budget discussion to convince a client about the same? The hardest moment from the project lighting budget discussion.
Budget discussion. Okay. I think the hardest moment I could remember is one of the projects. It was quite interesting. This gentleman, because the cost was going high, he wanted me to design from 300 lux to 100 lux and also justified saying that it's, I think we should reduce the lighting level. This is quite some time back, about 8-10 years back. And let's reduce the lighting and let them feel that it's a green building.
Oh my God. I mean, how can both the things be at the same time?
So that was a funniest and also very, very difficult to answer. And I was just looking at the boardroom on everybody else's faces. What does this mean? Because I remember because of the ceiling height being very high, we specified a very specific fixture, which was expensive, but getting us the lighting level within the LPTs, what we wanted. And this gentleman says, let's reduce the lighting level and let them feel that it's a green building. And I really had no answer to it. And in fact, I did not have to answer to it. So sometimes I think getting back to ownership, the best way in these cases, what I see is just keep on talking to them, trying to ask some questions, and they will realize themselves that they are going wrong. And if they are not realizing that, that's the hardest place to be in.
That's
and
the hardest part. Yeah, true. I totally agree that, we need to really convince the client on budgets and issue. I mean, this budget issue will be always there. We as designers have to convince the client, as you rightly said. So thank you, Harmeet. Thank you for your lovely answers and, so detailed ones and knowledgeable ones too. I would request now Ritesh to, switch on his camera and unmute himself. Our third panelist. Hi, Ritesh. Can you please unmute yourself?
Yeah. Hi. Good evening,
Ritesh,
all.
how are you?
Yeah, fine, great.
So Ritesh, So Ritesh, tell us. Most of us do rehearse presentations, right? So, however, before making a phone call, do you ever rehearse it? What you're gonna say and why you're gonna say to anybody, to client or an architect?
Make sure the rehearsal has been done earlier before any presentation, because the customer is a customer. The customer will not know me or my business. It is better to make a small point of rehearsal with my team and then go ahead.
No, not the presentation. I'm talking about the phone call.
Phone call?
Yeah. So when you make a phone call, do you rehearse any time the phone call as well?
Yeah, I do the rehearsal before making a client's call.
Oh, wow, wonderful. Maybe not many of us would be doing that.
Yeah, for the client, I make sure that I make a rehearsal what he wants to speak with us, what he wants, what is his taste. That is better to be known earlier before making any kinds of call.
Yes, I think that's the great practice to do, actually, many a times. Yeah. So tell us, we know that you love to eat new variety of food and a lot of, try different cuisines. So what's your go-to dish when you have to really cook a meal or cook a dinner at home at all?
To cook a meal at home, myself personally, I can do a Gujarati food cuisine that is known as dal dhokli. That is very easy to make. I make it myself and I give it to my family also.
So I think I need to invite myself to the dinner because I never had dal dhokli.
No problem. Welcome most.
Thank you.
And all my colleagues also, my team members.
Yes, absolutely. So here's an open invite from Ritesh to dine at his house.
Yeah, most welcome.
Ritesh, what would you not do for $100,000? Not do for $100,000.
$100,000 I'd not do.
Like for me, I will not put them in the drain for sure.
I would go for a trekking. I may guess to do, or may I even go for a donation or maybe a charity also.
Okay, great. I think that's a very valid point that not do for $100,000. What's been your most bizarre quarantine purchase? So we are all in quarantine from last 1 year. And now we are back to work for sure. But is there any bizarre quarantine purchase you made?
No, nothing. I have not made any kind of purchase in the last 1 year because in the lockdown we were all at home, and since last few months we have started resuming the office and the workload. Otherwise, nothing purchase has been done till now.
Okay. I mean, something like on a daily basis, what you might have purchased.
Daily purchase. I had gifted my wife on her birthday a wristwatch, Titan Raga, the local brand.
Great. Lucky her, I would say. Okay, so audience, now we are open the forum for the question to Ritesh. So if you have any questions, please type in the Q&A section.
Surbi, people have been typing questions in the chat as well, so you might want to look there too.
So we have a question for you, Ritesh. Do you ever crib or rehearse your speech that you could have spoken better after you finish a call with the client or an office? I think very valid question. Do you also rehearse that it would have been a better conversation?
Definitely. It happens all the time. We would be much more better to speak with a client or maybe anybody with the rehearsal also. It happens to each and everyone because we are the human being. We do much more in a possible way to go for 100%, but there can be some kind of disadvantages that happens to everybody. Yeah, lapse. Yeah, correct. So
yes, I think that happens. That truly happens, and we want the perfection all the time. So
correct.
Definitely that happens.
That happens
a lot.
Even on the stage also, when I've been to the stage, I do a lot of rehearsal to being on a stage. But some of the points, it happens that we miss off the what we had done the rehearsal and go with the live audience for a natural way. It happens many a times that also, but it happens. Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
I'm not that a perfect guy that I what I learn and that I speak.
I think when we try to achieve perfection, we sometimes
we forget
after
also.
the presentation.
Yeah,
yes.
Correct. It has to be in a natural way.
Yes, it has to be in a natural way. I perfectly understand. I perfectly agree. So thank you, Ritesh. Thank you so much for your great answers and to the point and short and sweet answers. I would request Sandeep to please.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ritesh. So I would request Sandeep to interview the next panelist, please.
Good evening once again. Our next panelist is Jatin from Lightsmith Lighting Projects Private Limited.
Hi, Sandeep.
Hi, Jatin. Hi. How are you doing?
Good.
I'm going to start my questions. My first question to you, Jatin, would be: if you were a lighting product, what would be your tagline?
My tagline would be like, I couldn't be found anywhere.
You couldn't be found anywhere.
Yeah, I'm a self-filling. I'm the light.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Moving on. If you were stranded on a tropical island with no network connectivity, of course, no network at all, what would be the three things that you definitely want with you? Three things apart from the network.
The three things I would like to have on the stranded beach would be like 2 t-shirts, 1 shorts, 1 pair of jeans, maybe 1 boat, if at all, and a coconut a day. If it falls down, I cannot climb the tree.
That's not bad. That's in fact very satisfied man, I would say. Good answer. My third question to you, Jatin, would be last site you visited as a secret mission and where?
Yeah, this was at one of the, it was maybe last year actually, when the client he was a corporate office. It was a 2-floor office, and the interior designer was having a different lighting intent actually. So I couldn't comprehend what actually the client and the interior designer wanted from me actually, though I had done some meetings and all. And to make my thought process to be more comprehensible with all these 2 people, I thought of going to the site for 2 times and understand in certain areas what else I can deliver on that site. So that was a corporate office in Ahmedabad. And though with little bit of here and there, I could complete that project because the client was very apprehensive. Like, if you have put too much of a light, oh no, I want only 2 lights. I said it cannot happen like that. But yet it was later it went according to the plan what which I had given to them. and that's how it went away. They were not agreeing to like the pedestal lamps which are used for task lighting, and when they literally had those lamps on their table, and they were like, oh, they were literally amazed because they were never explored that kind of a light fixture, and they said to themselves that this was the right decision what they did.
Good. He didn't give the client wasn't Hermeet's client who would have said it's a green building project. uh, who have you met in the industry that you wish you wouldn't have? That's a tough one. Sorry.
In the industry, you mean to say lighting
In
fraternity?
the lighting, yes, in the lighting fraternity, or in your clients, yeah, in the lighting fraternity, if that's okay with you.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I will name Girish Bharadwaj.
Girish is very popular here for all the
Yeah.
reasons.
Yeah.
I'll wait for any questions if anybody's. Let me see if anybody's asked any questions in the Q&A. Okay, so my fifth question would be to you would be if you awake one morning as Modi ji, Narendra Modi ji, our Prime Minister, our Honorable Prime Minister, what is the first thing you would do and why? The first thing.
First thing as Modi, if I wake up as a Modi, I would like to literally sabotage the corruption what we have, because it is like a parallel economy now in our country. So which is like hampering the overall growth of the industry, and there would be a clear, it's a huge divide from haves and have-nots because of that. So powerful gets powerful, and middle class remains the same, and low income groups cannot survive with that kind of pay packages or the earnings what they have. So I feel that that has to be some breaks on that. I know it's very difficult, but that's what I want.
Fair enough. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Can we have Karthikeyan, please? Karthikeyan?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, Karthikeyan. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Good to hear that. Thank you. Thank you so much,
Yes.
Karthikeyan. I'm doing very well.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Karthikeyan, I'll start off with your questions. So,
Yes.
what are the interesting lighting products you've come across in 2021 so far, in the past 3 months? What are the interesting products that you've come across?
I would say from my portfolio, we come up with a new range, which is really interesting and which is really economical way, because I feel my price is always higher. So luckily, Tajiti brought something new product, which is slightly lower than the previous one. So I felt a little happy with it. Yes.
Okay. So quite a new economical products that you can
economical version, and which is really good one also.
Fantastic. Yeah, if it's Tajiti, it will be good, I'm sure.
Yes.
That's good. That's good. My second question to you would be, what a family with a family business of silk sari weaving. What's something that will always be in fashion, no matter how much time passes? That will always be like in fashion, classic. What is it?
Because we got a real good chance to meet many people from many parts, because since I'm in a silk city, and I used to meet many people from the non-industry people apart from the lighting, and they might come up with a real good question. Sir, this is really different. Again, lighting also very well combined solution for them, because if I'm showing in the sari at shop, okay, they will feel that okay, this is too glamour, and again that's a slow goal kind of thing. When I brought it to the sunlight, and they feel like, okay, this is what I wanted. So it's like a more interesting job compared to lighting. Lighting, we always go into darker space and show everything. And here we want to go into a brighter world and show everything.
In the brighter space, yeah.
Yes.
Our light work starts only in the night.
Yes, here starts with the day. Yes.
So you're working 24/7. That's good.
Not
That's
really.
Good.
I enjoy 24/7. I enjoy the thing.
Oh, that's good to hear. That's
Yeah.
good to hear. If your job gave you a surprise 3-day break to rest and to recuperate, what would you do in the past 3 days? If you get a 3-day break from the saris and from the lights, what would you do?
Just switch off the phone and go along with my son. That's it. Which I'm missing, really. Honestly.
Oh, I'm sure. Yes.
So I wish to go with my son and enjoy the nature, because he likes go with the nature and flows instead of going for the city and malls, those kind of things. You want to go for the resorts and you want to enjoy the nature thing.
Oh, that's very nice. That's very nice.
Yes.
I'm sure.
So I wish to go
forward to.
I wish to go again. if I get a holiday.
Yes, you will. I'm sure. If you plan it well, you can do it. It's not a problem.
Yes. Yes.
My next question to you, Karthikeyan, would be: do you cook? And what would be your ideal recipe for biryani? Do you cook?
Yes, I do cook, and Sunday is my preparation always. I give a holiday for my mom and wife.
Oh wow, that's
generally I feel it's
Sunday lucky ladies.
For me. Yes, generally I feel Sunday is supposed to be a holiday for me, but unfortunately I won't get it in home. So lunch is always from my side, just giving a holiday for them.
Oh, Sunday lunch.
Yes, Sunday lunch is mine, and just feel that okay, my mom's supposed to be feel happy, and she wanna rest. Yes,
that's good to hear. That's good to hear.
Yes.
So let's see if any of our panelists or any of our participants have any questions for you. Let me check the Q&A, and no. So I will ask you then question number 5, and that is who in your life was the most influential in leading you to become the person you are today? Most influential person in your life so far?
Amardeep,
sir.
Yes, really, because I entered into industry in 2010, and 11 I met Mr. Amardeep at my office, who is my inspiration. Okay, because until 2011 I didn't know what is lighting. I was just doing a site support and project coordination. I was an electrical engineer too. So he was the one who brought me here into the level, honestly.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. It's good to have an inspiration.
Yes.
And motivation. Fantastic. Yes. Fantastic. That's good to hear. Thank you so much, Karthikeyan. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Now, I'd like to invite our next panelist, Girish. Girish, can we have you here?
Yes.
Girish, I see you've been very popular today.
I don't know, actually. Why so?
It's good to be popular. It's always good to be popular. You should be happy about
it. I am.
How's your good? How's your day going so far, bud? Otherwise, good?
Very good.
Good to hear that. Good to hear that. So I'm going to start my questions with you, Girish. If you had to break the ice during an awkward silence in a meeting, how would you crack a joke? If yes, what would be the joke?
No, I would not like to crack a joke, because definitely if it is a meeting, it must be a serious one. So yeah, if I have to break the tip of the iceberg, probably, citing someone who has done incalculable amount of work and then shutting it down, probably, or provoking it.
Okay. So no jokes for you.
Not in a meeting. Otherwise, yes.
Fantastic. What motivation would you not like to see in 2021? I'm sorry, I beg your pardon. What innovation would you like to not like in 2021? Innovation.
I don't know, any innovation to me probably is always good. Innovation is such a word where at least I can't reach, because we can reach discovery. We have discovered something. I don't think
Yes.
Innovation, whether good or bad, is is a remarkable thing. So whatever innovation, let's hear it out.
Why not? Why not? I agree with you on that one. We Indians are Jugaad champions for the good. What's the biggest jugaad you remember being done in 25 years of your profession? Your biggest jugaad, like the thing that you say is my biggest jugaad.
Okay. Inserting E40 based lamp, okay, into a fitting, a luminaire, which was designed for, that was, I think, E27 or G22 base. So that was one of the biggest jugaad I could see can be done. Of course, then ruining all the parameters of reflections, but that was a jugaad.
It happens only in India, as we say there.
It should. Why not?
It should. Why not? Why not? I agree. Why not? Do you have any pet? And if yes, what's he or she like?
It's a cat, and it's a like he was. So I think 15 days old when I stay in Bombay. So it was raining heavily a year ago during lockdown, and my daughter went down and saw that this little chap was besides her dead body of her mother and was being eaten by rats. So she brought him to our home, and he's a family member now.
Wow. That's great. That's great. That's some attachment to pets. I know how pets feel. Pets are like family members.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if there are any questions. Okay, so I think I'm going to ask you the last question. What new technology, as per you, will transform the future of lighting? What new technology?
Okay, so the technology which is directly implementing towards the photobiomodulation and physiological or optoneurobiological factors, which are definitely there in our sciences, in our cosmic world, and we are part of this cosmic world. That technology would be the right SPD, which is still missing because of the DNA of our lighting got changed when LED got introduced, because before that, till fluorescence, the DNA was light is the form of heat energy and was UV in it, okay? Or probably it was a thermal energy, right? But DNA got changed just 12, 15, 16 years ago. Probably the right kind of SPD, because it's not about wavelength. We are dealing with frequency and EV, which I am now for last 5 years researching it out. So yes, that would be a very good innovation. And I think few of the companies are already on the way from US and Japan for our office and our residential lighting, for which I've also got it for patent.
Fantastic.
So yes, but inspired by them.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's fantastic to hear. And okay, so that gets an end to our questions.
Thank you. Thank you.
On to you, Survi. Take the next lead. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Girish.
Thank you. Thank you, Sandeep. These were some amazing answers, knowledgeable as well as very interesting answers too. So let's see who's on the hot seat next. We have Sushant from Brainwave Designs. Sushant, hi.
Hi, Surbi.
Hi, how are you doing?
All good.
Great. So, Sushant, I see a lot of books behind. I'm sure you are a very studious guy. But we also know that you have been a cricketer in your college and school days, right?
Yeah.
So if you wake up tomorrow as Virat Kohli, what would be the first thing you're going to do and why?
Maybe I would like to get my aggression down because I was a Rahul Dravid fan. So, and I think that solves a lot of issue in terms of what we see in Virat Kohli. Uh, Staying cool can help Indian team a lot and can be comfortable for the team also.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Great answer. Very apt answer, I would say. So tell me, what did you think was going to be amazing in year 2020, but turned out to be horrible or terrible? Like for me, the later half of the year was not that great, and it turned out to be terrible. And though I had anticipated that it will be amazing.
Right. I would not say terrible, but we all had our plans and we were moving towards certain goals. So because of this pandemic, obviously, we all had to take a seat back. And yeah, I would not say terrible, but yeah, it didn't go the way we wanted it to go.
Right, absolutely correct. Actually, it didn't happen. It didn't go the way we anticipated to be.
Correct.
Right, true. So we know that you come from a commerce background, right? So which aspect of commerce background do you currently use in the profession of lighting design right now?
I don't think so. I was really bad at commerce, and that's the reason why I pursued interiors after that. But yeah, accounts is something which helps me, which I incorporate in the work we do. So yeah, accounting helps.
Yeah, I think accounting and the numbers really help even now. I would be helping you even now.
Yes.
So are you a movie buff? Do you watch a lot of movies, or what movie, picture, or video always makes you laugh, no matter how often you watch it?
So I watch movie, but I don't go to theaters. I like to see it during the weekends with my wife and daughter. And my daughter loves watching zombie movies. So together we see a lot of zombie movies and we see a lot of creature. So she gets all excited, and that's how we have fun for the weekend.
So that's something that makes you laugh every time you watch it.
Yes. Mainly her expressions, the way she reacts when something on the screen.
Right. Looking at the daughter makes you laugh, right? Makes you smile, basically happy, I would say.
Yes.
Great answer. So I'll just check if we have any questions from the audience. Not currently. I request the audience and the attendees to ask something from your panelists. You have a great opportunity. So, Sushant, next question to you. Tell us one really most interesting thing of your profession, which you find really, really interesting.
Most interesting thing is we get to travel a lot. And because of this profession, we get to go to places which we have never planned of. And I think that is very fascinating.
Right. I think that's a very great answer and very apt answer. So which place did you find the most interesting?
To me, we have a farmhouse in Karjat, where normally it's been there since 30 years. So since childhood, I've been going there. But yeah, recently I'm doing a project in near Pavna Lake. And even though staying in Mumbai, I've never been to Pavna Dam. And this house is on a cliff. So it's a really amazing location.
So very nice views, beautiful views, I'm sure, from there.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, great answers, Sushant. Thank you so much for being a part of the lighting interviews event today. Now I would request Anil sir to please unmute himself and switch on his camera. Hi, sir. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening. You are looking really gorgeous, I will say.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So, sir, you have been in this industry from last 50 years, right? So what is your most craziest client designer moment, if I can ask? You don't have to name the client, but what is your most craziest client designer moment?
There are several such projects because you know that I was the first independent designer and all were looking at me as a creature, animal coming out of the zoo. And I was doing one project by the architect from USA, and it was $51 million project of the Educational Institute. And Indian architect, very leading architect, was the secondary architect from India. And the lighting design, it came from USA. And as you know, that in India, nobody understands the US specifications. Before you can say 30 years back, you can imagine it was not that easy. People were more dependent on UK and Europe. And I remember in that project, there was MEP consultant also, and that was from Europe. So I had to study both and came out with the proposal, and the budget came to something like 30 crore in Indian rupees. And obviously the client and the leading architect from India said, sorry, we don't have that budget. So I was really, you can say, crazy and had to come out with the solution with value addition, and it came to 10 crore. There also they said, sorry, we don't have that type of budget. And I said, I'm putting down my foot. I'm not going to work anymore. Let me know how you have worked out the budget. And to my surprise, and I'm sure listeners also will understand that, that budget was made by a quantity surveyor.
Oh, okay.
And he counted, like brick and iron, he counted the number of fixtures and said, okay, what will be the approximate value maximum? And somebody said 1,200 rupees. And he worked out some budget. And I said, here, this is your classroom where you don't have any teacher. They are sitting in US, they are sitting in UK, they are in New Zealand, and they are teaching. It means you need video conferencing type of budget, lighting. And for that, the dimmable ballast will be required. Scene control will be required. Vertical illuminance for the camera will be required. And you need that particular product from Europe. And it was really crazy. And I had to tell the client, sorry, either you continue with the project with improving, you can say, your budget, or in this budget, whatever you can get, you are free to select. So it was really a crazy thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so when was this? You remember this?
As I told, I think it was in 89, you know, around 89.
That must be a real difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, nice. So, sir, I'm sure you might have taken your wife on the site in these many years. So what was her first reaction and feedback after returning home from the site?
I think I will first talk about my wife. She is really, you can say, the religious type of person. She has done her diploma in Vedanta from Mumbai University at the age of 60. And at that time, I was doing the project because it can be, because I have done several temple projects, and one of them is Akshardham at Gandhinagar. And
yeah, it's a beautiful project, sir. Beautiful project.
So basically, you can say, I took her to Gandhinagar to see that. And she really well appreciated that particular project, being religious in mind and nature. And she said, whatever time you are giving to the project, because you know in lighting field, we have to work for almost 12 to 14 hours a day, because our day in fact starts after 6 o'clock, because light will be well understood by the people. So
Absolutely.
she really appreciated that, you know, and said it is all justified what you are spending the time on the project.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm sure you must be really happy inside to hear this from her, and she's quite supportive. I understand.
Yes, she is supportive since almost, you can say, more than you can say our. I think we will be celebrating the 50 years of marriage in another 2 years. 40
Wow,
years, 48 years we spent together.
Many congratulations in advance.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
if a movie was made of your life, what genre would it be and who would you play? If a movie was made out of your life.
It is, you know, in the earlier days, I was very angry man. And anything going wrong in the project, because project is in the center and not the personality or any ego or anything, I used to lose my temperament. And for that, I think Nana Patekar is the right role. And I will say, I'm crazy. Why the hell it is happening like that?
Wow, he's a great actor too. As well. He's a great actor. So what's the coolest thing that you are working on right now?
I'm not getting your question, please.
I'm asking, what's the coolest thing that you're working on right now?
Oh, at the moment, you can say is the, you know, education is very dearer and nearer to my heart. And as an IALD educator member, I'm promoting education in field of lighting. And as on date, Government of India, BIS, has invited to review the NLC, National Lighting Code, and also as a reviewer. So I'm doing both. In fact, you can say you have also contributed to that. Many of our IALD members also have contributed, where I have become the mentor. And that is what I really love that, and I'm doing it for the betterment of lighting in the country.
I'm sure it's the Bible of lighting for future generation and for the current designers as well.
It will be about 52 chapters. 52 chapters. That is what people are talking about. And the number of pages are likely to be 1,000 plus.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Amazing.
Yes.
Wow. It will take almost so much time to study it, I'm sure. Just awaiting for it. Yeah,
it
just
is not only me. It is not only me. There are many contributors are there, and all are working very hard to work on it and come out with the code. Let us wait for it. Because of pandemic, you can say it has been postponed. But we have to have the personal meeting.
So we have the next question from Anusha. Her question is, what aspect of lighting design that were there on the earlier days, valuable aspect, which is available to now as a design tool? What aspect you were working on in earlier days that you want it to be here as a design tool today as well?
See, I will remember, you can say, year 1982. And at that time, movie Gandhi had won the Oscar award. And in fact, you can say Kapil Dev had won the World Cup. And under my leadership, our team in Philips, we had won about 12 projects award. And one of them was Asiad 82.
Okay.
And there, I think I will just say that I was the first person to introduce computer-aided lighting design in India way back in 1977. And being, you can say, in 79, because of the political issue, Philips was PICO, and they had asked for the fees to work on this design. And Asiad 82, Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium. And I had to work alone on my own, right from morning 6 o'clock to almost to 10 o'clock when I was driven out by the watchman of Tata Institute of Fundamental Research Computer Center. And at that time, I made something like 4.5 million calculations for 18 cameras. And my design was the best because it was a global tender. And we were the cheapest. And I can't forget that when it was really, the stadium was lighted, and the whatever you talk about the quality of lighting, it was certified by Philips Holland, and it was one of the best. And I can't forget such a memory and the tool what I've used for that.
They are like assets, basically. You treasure them.
Yes, yes.
Wonderful. Wonderful, sir. Thank you so much for being a part of today's event. So that was the legendary designer, the veteran of the industry, Walia sir. Now I would request Sandeep to take over.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sir.
Hi. We'd like to thank our sponsors, CMACE and Studio Plus, for the IALD Lighting Saturdays. And our sponsors would be providing a cash token to gift vouchers to all the panelists and the host. And lighting interviews. We like to also thank Joe and for his technical support. Joe and May for the technical support, and Dr. Amardeep for his direction of the whole event. And we'd like to thank the viewers to be here. Do follow us on Facebook and Instagram for IALD and IALD India chapter to stay tuned for our future events. Thank you for joining us. This is Sandeep Anand and Surbi signing off. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye. Ciao.
Bye-bye. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.